Wind River recently modernized its development workflow by releasing to the public an SDK that we can use to play around with VxWorks. I unzip those SDKs here and you can see different versions of the SDK. We will try to use the one that is the latest 1.13. Now, let's go here and if we try to use one of its SDK, you just need to source into the specific SDK version. And after that, it will be available to your command line, the C and C++ compiler. For example, this is the C compiler, and this is the C++ compiler. So they are of the Clang variant. The Parasoft tool command utility, the CPP test CLI, in this path here, you can use it to list the supported compiler family, like CPP test CLI, list compilers, and then we just need to look for those that have the word river. So the Parasoft tool supports or is compatible or have the following compiler family. It has the Diab 59, it has the GCC, as well as the Clang variant. Okay, I have a project here of the DKM, and in fact, I already built the out file, and the source code of this project is in this SRC folder. It is let me launch in Eclipse and create an associated workspace to that VxWorks project. Now, if you're using an actual Wind River workbench, your steps may be different from the one that I'm showing here. I am using a generic Eclipse with the Parasoft plugin installed. So I will create the workspace here. Right now, this folder does not exist yet. Um, then it will click launch. So the way if you're using Eclipse to load the project, usually is by loading the project's uh, BDF file. As it stands now, I already generated the BDF for my project. The BDF is just a text file that contains a listing of all the source codes of the project. As you can see here, it has the list of the source code of the compiler. And we're going to open that BDF file using Eclipse here, load BDF. You select C, C++ test, and under that, create project from a build data file or BDF. Click next, and then locate the BDF. So it's in the SRC, VxWorks, DKMND. Here's our BDF. And doing a project this way is actually the opportunity to specify the compiler family. Later, I will show you what text file this compiler family is being written on. Now, this GC7 is definitely not a compatible compiler family. So if I scroll down at the bottom, I should see the one for WinRiver. Suppose we will just use the one GCC 4.8 compiler family. We'll select this, and then for this edit box here, I will change this to the executable of the actual compiler that was provided from VxWorks SDK. Let me delete all of this. And then let me open my notepad here. And this is actually from the SDK that is in our system. This would be for the C compiler. Next for the C++. And for the linker, as always the case, it's the same as the C++. Okay. Now we set the family, which contains the definition that describes the actual compiler, and then we set the actual path of the compiler. Take note that if we select here, there's also diab. You see here, WinRiver diab. You can also see the diab compiler here, or I think it's down here. This is the diab, and this is the GCC. So we just select the GCC version, and I will click finished, and then this is the project that we just loaded. If you already have in your IDE the project set up, another way of changing the family is to go to the project menu here, click the project menu, go to properties, and then you should see a Parasoft here, expand it, C++ test, expand it, build settings, and we can see the same compiler family here, as well as the path to your actual compiler set. You can change this anytime you want. You just accept this as is for now. So I will cancel. So first thing to do when you have set up the compiler family and the compiler is to do a static analysis. So we'll click the top node here and then right click Parasoft. This using built-in static analysis effective C++. So we're running the effective C++ static analysis here. Now I know that there are more than one static analysis findings of this code base, but you can see here that it just returned one task violation and it only detected this one. So why that is? So let me delete these findings. This is where the compiler family uh, plays its important role. If I go again to the Parasoft here and to the project here and go to properties, we saw that the C and C++ compiler provided by the VxWorks SDK is of a Clang variant. In fact, it's Clang 16. And we are selecting the family to be of GCC. So there's an incompatibility here. That explains the suboptimal result of the static analysis. I will change this one to a more closer family. So this one, 9. This is the highest that is provided by Parasoft. So let's select the highest. This is the Clang compiler. And you can see x86-64 because the SDK is actually a chemo emulation of this particular architecture. So I will select this family now, 9, then no, because I want these items here to remain as is. I just change the family and I will apply and close. After changing the family, let me try to do static analysis one more time. Same effective C++ rule. So by switching to correctly very close compiler family will give you a better results for static analysis. The VxWorks SDK is a Clang, and we selected the Clang compiler family from Parasoft. And you can see now that the static analysis results findings is now little bit contains more findings. Okay, so let me minimize this, and if I go to the path of where the workspace is created here, you see in the Eclipse, the workspace is separate from the project. The project is in SRC, and then the workspace is in the different path. This is how I configure it. You can see here that if I switch to the VxWorks workspace, go to the here, there's actually a hidden file called .parasoft. It's a text file, and it's always present in every Parasoft workspace. If we check the insides of this hidden file, and we can see that it is here that uh, the compiler family is specified here, as well as the path to the actual compiler. Either you can hijack this. Let us try to hijack this. I will close the Eclipse. Let me try to see if this works. So let me try to just edit this one. And instead of using the Clang family, I'll switch to GNU. Oh, this one. I will launch again the Eclipse. And if the static analysis findings is lesser than expected, then you can see that indeed, perhaps directly hijacking the text file also works. First, let me remove these previous findings, and then first, let me go to the project menu and select the properties. Let me s- check if what's the active compiler family. And see here that after editing the text file, it's also reflected here in the GUI. And so if I right click and do static analysis, it should give me the one findings as it does not match the compiler, the specified compiler family does not match the one that is actually used. Yes, let me delete this. And then by setting uh, the compiler here in the menu, yeah, it should also edit the that Parasoft hidden file. I'll change this to the client version. Where is it? Here. No. Apply and close. Then minimize. If we check the so again, all boils down to this hidden dot Parasoft text file. And well, let us try to run a unit test here. Um, First, let me generate test cases. Generate mm, unit test. So if there's problem with the settings of the family and all of the configuration, there's also a failure in the generation of these cases. So here we are successful. So looks everything looks fine. And let me try to directly run a unit test, and this will fail because um, this is this needs a custom workflow to copy the generated executable into the target, and we're just treating it as it's a local test. However, the purpose here is we will see that an executable has been generated, and I will show the path of that executable. Okay, if we go to the workspace here, in the CPP test, um, DTM, file data, I think it's unit data. Yeah, it's unit. So it's current. So always take note the locate this folder here where it is under this folder where the executable is generated. You can see here DKM test. Okay, so and then let me open VxWorks for example here. Um, Start FTP to to create a file system, then start VxWorks. I will try to copy the executable into the FTP location here, and then inside VxWorks, we can see here we can try to load this. Sorry, you can test. Okay, I think I don't know. Use RDP exec. Okay, let me try to. Sorry. Yep, there are errors here because the yep we generated and that's it. So again, to summarize here, the when you run the custom workflow template, it, I mean the actual compiler that you want to use in the compiler family is set into the properties in this path here, or you can just manually edit the .parse hidden file and try the combination that works for you. Thank